Hello, this is Barry Nirmal. Please subscribe to my channel by clicking on the subscribe link below. Hello friends, in this video I will present my experiments over past 1 month to control my high blood pressure. I'm 75 years old and I have been taking blood pressure medications since I was 55. I'm also suffering from diabetes and BPH, which stands for benign prostate hyperplasia. Note that I had been taking just one medication for blood pressure per day, and most recently it was Amlodipine 10 milligram tablet once a day. It used to keep my blood pressure under 140/90. My doctor told me a few years ago that considering my age, a reading of 150 for systolic and 90 or less for diastolic would be fine. But I did not take my blood pressure reading at least once a week recently, as I should have done. I ignored taking it, and 1 month ago, when I measured it, it came to be 170/85. This alarmed me. Rather than rush to my doctor, I took one 40 milligram tablet of lisinopril that my wife takes. Next day, when I visited the doctor, the reading was like 128/75. And the doctor thought, why did this old man come to see me for blood pressure when his reading is so great? I explained to him that the present low reading was because I took 40 milligram of lisinopril for my wife's meds, which means it was not prescribed by a doctor. But he did not listen to me. He said, keep a log of measurements and see me next time if it is too high. And do not take measurements multiple times a day. Once a day is enough. So I continued taking measurements, and the reading would come around 175/80, sometimes 180/90. So I saw another doctor. I asked him to prescribe a medicine other than amlodipine because my experience tells me that the body gets used to a medicine and stops responding to it. I had been taking amlodipine for many years, so I wanted to stop it. So he prescribed me two medicines: Hydrochlorothiazide 25 milligram and Losartan 25 milligram. He told me that it will take 7 to 10 days for these meds to have effect. So I waited, and even after 10 days, the reading would still be higher than 150 for systolic. So the doctor upped the dose to 100 milligram for Losartan. This did reduce the blood pressure to around 145/80. But just as when I had started to think that the problem was solved, I took reading one night and found it was 190/85. I panicked and I took reading again and it came to 200/90. And I took it again and it was 210/95. I panicked and thought of going to emergency room. Then I looked up the internet and YouTube, and they told me to take a hot shower or bath for 15 minutes. I did that, and I also did breathing exercises to relax. I also took a third medicine, that is amlodipine 10 milligram, and the reading came down to 175/85. I had heard that some people say that if your systolic reading is 100 plus your age, it's fine. So I calmed down and went to sleep. Next day, I remembered why my blood pressure was high the previous night. I reasoned that this was probably because I had committed 3 great sins recently. One day, I had invited some friends over for lunch, and I drank more than I normally do. Remember that over the past 2 months, I had stopped drinking altogether. Then the next day, I took my family to an Indian restaurant where I ate goat curry. That was super delicious, but it was chock full of salt and strong spices. Then the next day I ate excess of popcorns that was laced with salt. It was very delicious, but it was processed snack that people suffering from blood pressure and diabetes are advised to avoid. In fact, you should avoid any kind of processed food. So these three great sinful acts had boosted my blood pressure a lot, causing me to even think of going to emergency room. So I had a video visit with another doctor the next day. He added a third medicine, that is Amlodipine 10 milligram. He also advised me to take care of my diet. He also said that blood pressure medicines take sometimes a month or 2 months to work properly because it takes time to build the balance of chemicals in the body. So I started taking this third medicine and it quickly brought my blood pressure under control. In fact, my reading came to 110 by 80 or 115 by 80. So I stopped taking the third medicine, that is Amlodipine. I also started doing intermittent fasting, skipping one meal a day, just taking 2 meals. And so I'm seeing my doctor next week, even though my blood pressure is less than 150 by 90, which is my goal. So what I have learned from the gurus who preach on YouTube videos is the following. A new prescription drugs for blood pressure takes at least 10 days to have proper effect. The effect is not instantaneous. Also, if you are suffering from diabetes, you must also control your diabetes, else your blood pressure will also get out of control. Avoid taking sugary snacks or drinks. In fact, stop taking snacks altogether. Just have 2 or 3 meals a day. Yesterday I took a sugary snack after a long time, and today my glucose reading is elevated and so is my blood pressure reading. Intermittent fasting helps a lot in weight reduction, which reduces blood pressure and helps with glucose reading by controlling insulin resistance. If you strictly control your diet and have a disciplined habit of cardiovascular exercise, you can get off your blood pressure meds. But this is very difficult to achieve. Self-control is very difficult and there is no drug for it. Self-control means self-control, yourself. You control yourself. You cannot control it through meds. Many people have said in YouTube comments that by losing 50 pounds or 40 pounds of weight, they control their blood pressure. One guy said that when he was living in Asia, he did not get enough to eat. Most of his money went to pay rent, but he had no BP and no diabetes. His weight was much less. But then he came to America and he started eating more and more. And he added more and more weight. And he also developed diabetes and blood pressure. Also, to lower your blood pressure, practice breathing exercise to make your heart strong. Now I do it morning and evening. Just take deep breath and hold it for at least 2 seconds, like. I do it 20 times in the morning and 20 times in the evening. I count these 20 times on my fingers, okay? That way it's easy to know that I did 20 times. I also do breathing exercise when I'm taking a walk in the evening after dinner. In fact, we must take a walk after dinner every night. Make this a habit. We must exercise each organ of the body to make your mind strong. Read and ponder over what you read. Since I have knee pain, I go to gym and ride a bike to make my knee strong. When I cannot go to gym, I do knee exercise while lying down on the bed. To make my eyes strong, I exercise them by looking at beautiful women whenever I find them. To control my BPH, that is prostate problem which makes you pee frequently, I avoid taking coffee. I take just 1 cup of tea in the morning and 1 in the afternoon. I take my medicine to control my diabetes. No matter what we do, most people will need medicine, that is modern medicine, to control their blood pressure, diabetes, and BPH. So take your meds. In America, we have Medicare health insurance to take care of old folks like me. Thanks to our leaders who gave us Medicare in America, and thanks to God for giving the Americans, the Russians, and the Chinese the wisdom to avoid nuclear conflict despite huge proliferation of nuclear weapons. So many new countries are gaining nuclear weapons, and it's becoming more and more a problem for the whole mankind. We also must oppose war because it seems like it's in the human nature to wage wars, and also it's in the human nature for one person or one nation to try to be the dominant power in the world, and to wage wars to basically defeat the enemies. But this is bad when nations have nuclear weapons. A nuclear war between the superpowers will end in the whole humanity perishing. So we have to be careful, okay? So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and spread the word by sharing this video with all your friends. Thank you very much. Hello. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so by clicking on the subscribe link below. Also write your comments in the comment section below. Spread the word. You can share this video with your friends by clicking on the share button below, and you can share it with WhatsApp, with Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and by sending email to your friends.